Today's topic is a systems and processes tip on how to streamline IEP and 504 accommodation language. As a former math teacher who's only had experience implementing IEP and 504 plans, this was an extremely useful tool for me as an administrator. When writing accommodations for IEPs and 504s, the general best practice is to ensure that the accommodation is specific to meet the needs of the student and clear enough so that it can be implemented consistently. However, this is easier said than done. Oftentimes, accommodations may appear to be written clearly, but in practice, there may be large variances in the actual implementation and interpretation of them. Also, there are some cases where IEP and 504 coordinators or case managers don't have direct classroom experience, so accommodations may not be completely feasible in the classroom, or the accommodations may not be needed in every subject area or setting. As an administrator, it's really important to balance providing the accommodations that truly are going to help the student and that the accommodations are feasible in their classes and contexts. Of course, there's exceptions in any case, but I found that balancing those two supported the student as well as showcased positive student progress too. To address this, I created a common language spreadsheet that case managers could reference for some of the most common accommodations in the building. I do want to make a note that accommodations should be carefully selected to support the student's needs, and this is by no means a copy and paste tool. Instead, the purpose of this document is really meant to help provide specific language that can ensure accommodations are implemented across the board consistently with the overall goal of helping the student. There are many trainings and resources on how to write strong accommodations, so my purpose here wasn't to create another one of those. I wanted to create something even more specific that reflected the supports available within the building. Every district and even every school within a district may have different interventions or programs suited to their specific population, so I wanted to create a usable tool that was reflective of what we were seeing in the building. To create the spreadsheet, I first started by reviewing all of the IEP and 504 accommodations in the current plans. The program that we use to manage IEPs and 504s had some overarching categories for accommodations, so I used that as a place to start as well. Some of the categories were highly structured learning environment, preferential seating, and adjusted test procedures. In each of these categories, I put examples of accommodations that were clear and specific to our building, as well as any additional tips to help them modify the accommodation to suit the student. Here are some examples of original versus revised accommodations. One common one is extended time on assessments. This could be changed to student will receive time and a half on all science and math assessments. Without this level of specificity, I've seen situations where students were very burnt out of their extended test time procedure because they had to go to a different location for every single assessment, even in classes where it wasn't applicable. Another example is redirect student when off task. This could be changed to the teacher and student will determine a discrete nonverbal cue to redirect student to the task when off-task behavior is observed. Many times a vague accommodation can leave staff feeling like they're not doing enough. By adding specificity to these accommodations, it also helps teachers be able to feel confident in providing these supports for students. Another example is access to student services. This could be changed to the student will advocate for support and is allowed to check in with a member from student services when the student requires assistance with navigating social situations at any time. These examples only show one layer of how the accommodation can support a student's needs, and if you'd like to see other variations, I'd be happy to share more. The impact of making these accommodations more clear, specific, and aligned helped in so many ways. Case managers became more confident in being able to provide a customized plan that really supported the student's needs. Also, monitoring and evaluating the effectiveness of these accommodations was so much easier too. Teachers and staff were able to consistently implement accommodations across the board and knew what every accommodation meant. Students also had better experiences because the accommodations were customized to their preferences and styles, so they weren't burnt out or ostracized if an accommodation was done in a way that didn't align with them or in classes where it wasn't relevant. It also improved communication across all the team members working together to support the student And as the administrator, it really helped me in being able to maintain that balance between what's best for the student and also for staff. This tip is really meant to spark inspiration for how you could take something like this and apply it into your context. It could turn into a professional development day where case managers work together to create the document and revise common accommodations. It could even be an opportunity to involve subject departments and have them review accommodations common to their subject area. They could provide feedback on how to revise them, other ideas that haven't been considered, and express their needs to better implement these accommodations. Ultimately, this is just an example of how a streamlined process can really improve the culture at your school. Thank you for watching, and I hope you experienced the joy of doing something you love today. Bye!